Okay, so we are sitting here with Natalie Nielsen today. She is a 6th and 7th grade band director at Indianola Middle School, and we are going to be writing her individual professional development plan. Alright, so just as a follow-up from the post-observation conference, we went over a lot of strengths that you had. Your planning and preparation were spot on. You had great question and response techniques that you displayed throughout your class period. Overall instructional techniques, you connected well with your kids. I felt like your end goals were met by doing the instruction like you did. The area of growth that we talked about was student engagement via the classroom management. So you mentioned that there was a lot of talking throughout the period due to the snow days or the weird scheduling. That's kind of where we left off from the post-observation conference. Okay? Mm-hmm. So for the rest of the year, or in January or February, what would you like your goal area to be? Just focus on that.
I would like to increase student engagement throughout my band classroom.
Okay. How does that align with your building or district goals?
We have 5 main goals in Indianola. Am I allowed to say that? And one of them is goal number 4 is meeting student needs, and I think that would fall under that category.
Good. So in order for this goal to be reached, what are maybe some supports that you need to have or that would help you reach that goal?
Well, I have a couple of things that I've used in the past. This contributes to ensemble performance. We use it has a
Sorry, I picked a bad day.
Sorry. It has basically many different categories, but just a couple of them are I come to rehearsal or performance prepared to sing or play my part. I am attentive to the director for cues and feedback. I am supportive of the performance of my peers, and I show appropriate etiquette as a performer and as a listener. And basically the kids have to rate themselves at midterm as how they've done for the past 6 weeks or whatever. Yeah. And then they rate themselves, and then I collect those sheets and I rate them. And if we don't see eye to eye on that, then we usually have a conversation about it. But this is one way that I think that I can help accomplish this goal. And another thing that I've done in the past is I've had a TLC member in our district come in, and I've had like a set of interview questions, and they just randomly pulled like 10 kids out, and some of those questions have consisted of, on a scale from 1 to 10, how are you feeling engaged in lessons, or how are you feeling engaged in the band classroom, and then, and why, and they get to kind of describe themselves in band. And I actually don't even know the names of the kids. I just collect the data to know, where my kids are at without it's just a random selection. So maybe using those 2 things could help me meet that goal.
Yeah, so if those are good supports, how can we determine maybe if the goal is accomplished then using that? So if that student engagement, how can we use that in order to know if that goal is accomplished? Oh, I guess you kind of went through that maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I want the kids to rate themselves closer to how I would rate them. Yeah. Rather than a kid thinking, the numbers on the top are a 4 is independently, 3.6 is with occasional reminder, a 3 is with some reminders, and 2.6 is frequent reminders or not at all. So I want the kid to realize, I am in the 2.6 range, and I need to get up to the 3.6 range or whatever, and that our grading is closer together. Yeah. And if we, right now, if we don't do that, if they're not matching up, then a lot of times in like individual lessons, we have that conversation of how can we improve this, and
Yes.
um,
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm just making some notes here on the development plan page. So basically, your goal is increasing student engagement. This aligns with your building and district goals. Goal 4, about meeting students' needs. Some supports that you might use might be the CEP is what you call it. Like the having kids rate themselves, whether they need a lot of reminders or they're independent, or the TLC members coming in. So we're going to be writing a SMART goal, which means that it's specific, measurable, attainable, results-oriented, and time-bound. So if I were to walk through your classroom to try to help you achieve this goal, what are some things that might show that you're getting there? Or how can I help you do that?
Well, I would say that you might just want to, I mean, it's a really big classroom, so it's hard to really zero in on maybe individual kids.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe just pick a certain section that you could assess for that day and see who the regular offenders are, and you know, you could fill one out for, I don't know if you do individual students or not, but you could do as a section.
What might you be doing?
Me?
Yeah.
Okay, what would I be doing? I would, a lot of times, like, when I'm on the podium that's in the front and center of the room, that's our cue that we're supposed to be quiet, and if that's not happening, and I'm able to get off the podium and go, like, walk to the saxophone section and just stand in proximity to those kids, usually they quiet down. Instead of me having to interrupt class, you know, I just continue going on, and then walk over to them. Or if we had a hard rehearsal the day before, or, you know, we had a snow day the day before or whatever, just starting out with our rehearsal with a more uplifting conversation and saying, hey, we can do this, you know, we had a rough time last time, but these are the things, these are our goals today, and hopefully that will help.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So then what type of data could be collected in order to know if this goal is being achieved then? Kind of mentioned maybe this would be a good source. Think of anything else?
Yeah, I mean, and again, with like the pulling out random kids, you know, that's completely random. So you don't have to put names on them or anything, and you could pull all the saxophones or something and ask them those questions on how do they feel that they're engaged, and just kind of give them a little one-on-one interview.
Yeah. So then, if we're talking about a goal that's measurable, obviously we need to know where we are now versus where we need to be. So, like, what percentage of your students would you say don't need help in this category? They do everything they need to do. They're independent versus the needing reminders.
I have a class of approximately 90, so I would say like 10 of them are regular offenders. So I think if my math's right, that's approximately 88% of the class that is not needing the support in this area.
So how many would you like to see now move to the proficient or independently, how you say?
I would like to make a goal of maybe 6 of those becoming more of the independent area.
Yeah. So then, between now and the end of the year, I'd like to put some checkpoints in place. So we're going to be writing a goal, but just to make sure we're on track with that goal, by mid-April, how many would you like to see move, and then maybe mid-May as well? So if, obviously, it's closer to the end of the year. So mid-April, how many do you think we could maybe get to that proficient category?
I think we could really focus on 3, and then maybe by mid-May we could try to get 6 students there.
Okay, so because this goal is about student engagement, classroom management obviously is a huge indicator here. This aligns with Iowa Teaching Standard number 6, so that's your focus area. How do you think this goal could be worded if we were going to write this out?
I think something along the lines of using student data. I would like to make a goal of helping 6 or more students meet the independent area on the contributes to the ensemble performance rubric by the middle of May.
Okay.
And then if we need one for April, then just change the 6 to 3.
Okay. So meeting the independent criteria. Okay. Well, let's plan on meeting about this goal then, maybe right around mid-April. We'll see how we're doing on that. You give one of these, you said, during midterms.
Midterms
So-
at the end of the semester.
So you'll probably have two
Two more by then.
Yep. So maybe we can assess the level and see what we need to do, if we need more supports or whatever from me. And we'll go from there.
Sounds good.
All right, thank you for participating.